Almost easier to go.
Works for him, because it knows better. It knows
How tech departments work.
it knows it can mess with me, but not with him.
Yeah, well, it's a battery.
That AI thing going on.
Whole year. Dale, you gotta turn yours on, because you talk too so.
Okay, we are.
Yeah. Oh, you're getting them on still.
Yeah.
Good.
Welcome. Yep. Yeah, we're all good there. We're all connected up. Okay, then let's start. Well, welcome folks to this work session of the Montoursville Area School District Board of Directors on this Tuesday, September 26, 2023. Time is 7:01 p.m. I invite the secretary to call the roll.
Mr. Albert is absent this evening. Mr. Badger is absent this evening. Dr. Beery? Here. Mr. Hausnick?
Here.
Dr. Mathers is absent this evening. Mr. Schimmel?
Here.
Mr. Snow?
Here.
Mr. Ulmer?
Here.
And Mr. Young?
Here. I invite everyone present to rise and join with me in the pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
For the United States of America. To the republic for its advance, one nation. Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, this evening we have a couple of recognitions and presentations, and first for presentation, we have Mike Musto from the Montoursville Area School District Foundation, and there's a presentation via video, and Mike, you be speaking to us a little bit too? Okay.
All right.
Oh, I'm Mike Musto, the president of the Montoursville Area School District Foundation. And today I would like to take just a few minutes to introduce you to the foundation and make you aware of its purpose and objectives. The foundation board is comprised of community volunteers of varied backgrounds and expertise, and was created to provide support for the educational experiences that foster lifelong interest in learning and community, and to generate and promote funding that will enhance the educational experience of our students in the district. Boiling it down, the foundation raises and administers dollars outside of traditional funding sources to reinforce and supplement the goals of the Montoursville Area School District STEM initiative, update technology for classrooms, and provide other educational support. The foundation promotes student development through enriching programs and activities such as the medical career program and the theater arts program.
Hello, I am Dan Fellow, a member of the Montoursville Area School District Foundation. We plan to raise funds for these programs in several ways: gathering generous community donations, accepting EITC donation, which stands for Educational Income Tax Credits, hosting fundraising events, and participating in the Fall Festival and Raise the Region. Over the past few years, the foundation has raised nearly $100,000 and allocated those funds toward venture grants for teachers, educator and residents, mock trial, and the Black Box STEAM program. The foundation will focus on improving community awareness through a social media and an alumni outreach initiative. You will also find us participating in the elementary school Spring Fling.
Hello, I'm Sue Harvey, the Secretary of the Foundation, and I would like to talk about venture grants for teachers. The Foundation rewards the creation of exciting and innovative educational ideas with its $500 venture grant. It is awarded on a competitive basis to enable unique teaching strategies, and is a great way to help supplement smaller projects that need a little extra funding. It's an easy application with a fast turnaround time and is available on the district website. The foundation was happy to assist these following teachers in their projects. We encourage all teachers to consider taking advantage of the venture grants to enhance your classroom experience. Just to highlight one venture grant recipient, Mrs. Breon and her Animal Life Cycle project. First grade students at Leiter Elementary started a project on life cycles by incubating and hatching chicken eggs. The foundation was able to provide funding for an incubator, handling equipment, nesting boxes, and a chick brooder. Students were involved in the entire process and understood the importance of animal care, farming, and egg production. Hello, I'm Jessica Knittel. I'm a Torresville Area School District Foundation member. Another project that benefited from the Venture Grant Program was Mrs. Horton's pond study at the Montour Preserve. This was an outdoor field trip to the Montour Preserve where third grade students used their senses to learn about birds of prey, the local history of waterways, and nature during a nature walk. Additionally, the students dug for fossils in the fossil pit. All students took part in a pond study investigation where they collected and identified a variety of macroinvertebrates and other aquatic critters found in a pond ecosystem. To give students a fully immersive experience, the foundation provided nets and collection basins for teams of students to use for scooping and collecting samples from the pond, allowing them the opportunity to study and identify macroinvertebrates using macroinvertebrate charts.
Hello, I am Alex Witter, a member of the MASD. The foundation and the school district have benefited from what was mentioned earlier as the EITC tax credit. In short, EITC funds are derived from medium to larger size companies approved by the state. Instead of paying state income tax, they can direct some of what they would have been paying as taxes directly to an EITC approved project. And in our case, the Black Box STEAM program. This program has already received $76,000. And there are several other EITC programs in the pipeline. The momentum of the STEAM project placed the foundation on the map and as a result prompting additional private contributions throughout the community. The foundation is eager to provide support for educational experiences. So please reach out to one of our board members with questions or ideas on how we can assist or help each other. Thank you.
So that's who we are, and that's what we've done. Is this on? We can, okay. All right. Right now, the foundation has 7 board members. We have bylaws that permit us up to 15. We have worked with several of the board members here. Dale has acted as a liaison for us, Mr. Ulmer, Mr. Schimmel, and currently Mr. Young is our liaison to the school board. What we've done over the past couple of years is we've wanted to make ourselves a very viable organization. And I think the number in there that we raised is underestimated. So I'm calculating right now over the past 3 years, we've raised $138,000 for the school district. And that doesn't include what we've done so far this year. We've received from banks that have provided us funds, Muncie Bank, Woodlands Bank, and my employer, Jersey Shore State Bank. They've been consistent with their contributions to us over the past couple of years. If that consistency holds true this year, we've received so far year to date community contributions of about $14,000 and Jersey Shore State Bank's $4,500 came in. So far, we're at $17,000, all things being equal, and I'm not a betting man and everything's a blessing that we get, but should the other banks and contributors be consistent, we should be around $45,000 this year again. Is that a good bang for your buck? My calculations say that the foundation costs about $800 a year to run. So to get $138,000 off of an $800 a year organization, I think that's a good return on our investment. We can always improve on that. The largest expense that we have is our compilation statement, which we need in order to present it to DCED, which is the state organization that credits and approves our EITC program. So we have to have that expense. The other expense that we come in contact with, and we do this, we're doing it on an every other year basis, maybe every 18 months, an annual gathering for us. We find that other organizations that have annual gatherings, they kind of peter out after a couple of years. So we want to keep it somewhat new and somewhat not irregular, but not every year. And what we've done with that, it costs us about $9,000 a year to run that dinner, and we've raised $50,000 through our dinner. That's who we are, and I can take questions if anybody has them. We're looking for members, so if you know anybody that would be somebody that would put a little elbow grease into an organization, we're one that doesn't take much effort, but we think we have a good product. I can field any questions. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next, we have Carrie Snyder with the nutrition group. And they have a presentation for us.
Video. But yeah, so in the review, we received two samples of the items that we got in the school year. Kind of do, please feel free to eat them while they're warm. You call it what you like, but the chicken and vegetable dumplings or like hot sticker. It has a teriyaki glaze over it, and we've done it at high school, and I've been to the school and it's going really well. I usually cut knots, so that's good. And he wasn't sure he was gonna like it. But yeah, so we introduced it. Well, more, so Lenny is doing that, and our goal is to have different, it's the teriyaki glaze, but then it's different kinds of sauces to put on top, give them a little bit of, and we can also pair it with chicken fried rice that we should be also. And then also the little orange bags in front of you are other food in this year. Student breakfast items here. One black no. And then we got the brightly hot pink color. Back the waffle. That's the much important that. And the younger kiddos are really looking up hot pink the waffle. That has like little cereal bit in it, a little food for the waffle. And then the last one I threw in the new snack option that confetti breakfast we do. So lots going on in your bag, lots of sweets in there. But they're also going really well. We got a few other big options in red for the ones that do really well. So I just kind of wanted to see it, what's going on and bag wrap. But yeah, those options are really helping us. On staff, we're starting to see this area as well. So here's one right. Need a couple more staff and so we're in the cafeteria, but we don't know that one. So yeah. Any questions?
Right, this doesn't have the contents. Yeah.
So it's yeah. On there it has but yeah, I was surprised to see that.
Well, it surprised me because I thought, I was under the impression that ingredients were supposed to be on everything. Which has to do with people, yeah, exactly.
Allergy and low cost off.
Right.
Okay, well, enjoy your good evening.
We'll move on now to the public comment section of the agenda for the evening, and anyone present who would like to make comments, comment on any matters of concern or official action or any deliberation before the board. And members of the public will be given a 3-minute time frame. Let us know who you are and where you live.
Jack Callahan, 113 North First Street. I want to know what, has anybody did anything with the craft trees about the message board, wherever they were going to locate it or what they were going to do. On that meeting I was doing, they said that they were going to check craft trees here and make sure it's checked with the codes and everything now. Guess it's done. And then, South Williamsport track, anybody check with, up there in South Williamsport about, having their track team come down and use our facilities. Whether they were gonna get on our team, I don't think they are, but I think they're gonna have a team. But I think somebody ought to check with them. They had the first track team in the area, besides the Minsk, played that. They had the first night track meet ever over in South East. This was the early 60s. And then have we had any student teachers yet? And are they getting paid? Or when does that start that they get paid? And the teachers that are monitored them, when are they going to get? Are they going to get paid? Or is that just a function? Or
Still tied up in Paris.
okay. That's it.
First time I told you the chicken dumpling, my just came home and was like so excited. So I waited to give a shout out. I also found that this was all and so that's part of my. So
I'm loud.
Still need the mic.
All right. So 2 things I want to address, and Mr. Taramino, as you're sitting down, I'm going to first say congratulations on your becoming superintendent. I also want to say what is coming following is not a direct reflection upon you. But the first issue I wanted to talk about was 2 weeks ago when they were voting on approving you as superintendent. One thing came up, and it was the fact that there was a discussion of the succession and what happens when Mrs. Basin leaves. And I think I was a little thrown, as would anybody be who sat up here and talked about why we didn't need an assistant superintendent, because we were told that it was because we needed one. Is because we needed to have somebody do communications and we needed to have somebody do curriculum, when in reality, essentially we were lied to as taxpayers. And that's our money. Yes, you were, Mr. Schimmel, I'm sorry. You sat up here and said verbatim, you had a discussion with Mrs. Basin and discussed a session, and that's why the position was created. It's on the channel.
No, I didn't know that's not how it turned out.
That's what came out on
Well,
2 weeks ago. And
It's
I
a
would have
mischaracter-
gotten
it's a
up.
mischaracterization.
It was It's on video and went back and looked just to make sure I wasn't hearing incorrectly, but I feel as if those of us that got up and spoke and had the discussion of the expense to the taxpayer were not told the full truth. And maybe I'll just put it at that. I'm just expressing right now my displeasure in that. And this is what provokes distrust in elected public officials. And I don't know, I'm not saying the entirety of the board, and I'm not saying I don't know who knew what when, but I feel as a taxpayer who got up and spoke on this, very let down. And I'm just letting you know that. Second thing I want to discuss is ski club. So I'm not sure if any or how many of you are aware that we have a ski club and approximately 50, 60 children from middle school to high school go on ski club. Ski club only requires transportation. And the children have tended to eat the cost, excluding Mrs. Brian, who forgoes her stipend and pays for one of the buses. Mrs. Brian requested $1,800 for transportation for the buses for ski club this year and was told it was not in the budget. I'm frustrated beyond frustrated on this one when we have $4,000 for an EA club for kids to sit in front of computer screens, no offense. When there's 50, 60 kids who, a lot of them don't participate in other sports, but they go skiing. That's a lifelong sport. These kids look forward to it. It's 6 times a year. It's $1,800. I find it incredibly hard to believe that when you look at Mrs. Brian, who has donated her time over the years to cultivate this club, to take these kids on Thursday nights, to go on that bus up there and so they can ski and they look forward to it. These kids socialize with each other. They're learning a lifelong sport. And we somehow can't find $1,800 for transportation. And I'm telling you this because the club's not going to happen. It's at that point when you're sitting here and you're finding funding for all these other things and you can't find $1,800 to cover transportation for the buses for these kids. It's just sad. I'm just hoping somewhere we can find the $1,800 so that the ski club can continue. Because it's one of those things that I don't know if you talk to the little elementary school kids, they look forward to it. 5th grade, you get to go in ski club. There are some kids that their parents don't ski. Now, my kids will still ski. I ski. We ski all the time. But they love this. And they ski all the time. There's kids on that bus. That's the only time they go skiing. So I'm just asking to somehow find $1,800 somewhere in the depths of it. I mean, if we're not using any money yet for EA, the sports, I don't know. But I mean, there has to be $1,800 somewhere. I don't think it's a big price to pay for a large group of children in our district we talk about them being socializing and we talk about them being out there and getting together. And I just don't think it's a lot to ask. Thanks.
If there's no one else here, we'll go to online, and anybody that wants to raise their hand, we'll let them speak. Okay, not seeing any hands being raised. We'll move on now to the agenda items. The general agenda item, the only one is the approval of the PSBA officer slate. So take a motion to approve that. Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions on that? Not hearing any, then all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Abstain. Okay. All right. Moving on to personnel, then we have let's see. I believe we can the 4 items there. I think we can group together. We have the coaching staff additions, extracurricular, and support staff, and event staff addition. So unless someone needs a separation, we can group them. So we have 4.1 through 4.4. Do we have a motion to? I make a motion to accept. Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Okay. Any questions on any technicalities or anything like that about the appointments?
On 4.4, approval of the event staff, there's no hourly rate for their week.
event staff is a standard rate. That's probably why she didn't put it on there.
I know it's no different than the others, I'm just saying for purposes of approving it.
Yeah, I'll have her put it on for now on, but
And-
it's,
Okay, do you know?
look it up. But I think it's 11. Yeah, I do think it's 11:20.
I think it's $11.20 an hour.
And these are,
These add to the pool of people that they can schedule. I think we talked about. that.
substitutes, yeah, we did,
Yeah.
substitutes, basically.
And
And if
There's a pool
extra,
of them,
and if
yeah.
extra
Yep.
are needed.
But they're not armed, right?
No, these are just the event.
All right, so we think it's 11:20. It's definitely in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, any other questions? Is that okay? Yes. sir. Any other questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And then we have the last item, transportation, approval of the transportation aid list. We have one addition there. We have a motion to approve that.
Move to approve.
Second. Any questions of any kind? Okay, and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's have it. All right, that's dispensing with the agenda items quickly. Moving to public comment section number 2. Again, anybody that wishes to come forward and speak to us and
Yeah, I just want to know, Jack Callahan, 113 Arch Street. Is there anything going on for special Halloween stuff like that? You have over at the middle school where they open the trunks of the cars or dust. I don't even know what it is. The fire trucks are over there. I just wonder if that's a go this year or not. I mean, you got another meeting before Halloween.
I think that the trunk or treat, something like that being planned by either,
I believe it's run by the churches.
yeah, I think Faith does something in the parking lot.
They just use the parking lot, but it's run by the churches.
Okay, yeah,
And Oilside Valley has it also.
they had lights, one time I caught it by chance, you know. And they used to have a block party on Halloween. They had bobbing for apples and they had donuts, they had square dancing, they had hay rides and throw for the canes and throw the pennies things for the pennies on the board. It was out in the parking lot by the egg building when we had an egg building out where this was many moons ago, but it was very successful. I didn't know there was that many people that could square dance, but it really went over well. So I know we tried it in gym class. I know I can't do it, but there was a lot of people that had a real good time then.
Tina McCloy at 608 Arch Street. I would just like to piggyback on what Sharon Myers shared about the ski team or the ski club. Now, when my kids were in school, they were not in this district. They actually went to a private school and the kids funded that themselves. They went every week for 2 or 3 months. And my kids skied now today because of the experiences they had when they were in high school. And my grandson also participated in the ski club last winter and the winter before, and I know he really enjoyed that. It's a great exercise for the kids outside of the school environment, gets them off the screens, gets them outside, gets some fresh air. And I think $1,800 is a small price to pay to give 50 kids plus that experience. Thank you.
Just raise your hand. Not seeing anybody raising their hand. We'll move now to, I guess, just prior to adjournment. Let me put some more context to the last couple of years on the appointment of Dan. The one thing we knew is we had a missing curriculum director, instructor, you know, that was not there. That was a gap that was hurting the district. And we did some interviewing for that. There was also a sentiment that the district needed to get its message out there more and communicate it and maybe better. When Dan interviewed for it, there was a sentiment of the board that for this assistant superintendent position and some didn't quite want the position, agreed. But functionally, it did exactly what we needed to have done. We needed curriculum taken care of, and Dan did that and did it with flying colors. And then as a communicator, we all know that Dan's a great communicator. This was somewhat complicated because of Dan being the administrative representative at the board meetings. And so we knew he could communicate effectively, and he's shown he can do that. There's processes and discussions that related to personnel that occur amongst board members and in executive sessions, and that the public frankly doesn't have the right to peek into. And anyone's on the board, when you get on the board, there's personnel discussions you'll have that the public does not have the right to. So yeah, do you know everything that's going on? No, you wouldn't have. So I can understand why. I guess I understand why you feel that way, but to call it a lie, you know what? I might do something, but lying, no, absolutely not. So I'm frankly, I'm hurt by that.
So, I was feeling very hurt 2 weeks ago,
But
because that's literally what I felt. Because
you didn't know everything.
we even this particular, so what changed? That's the problem.
The assistants, okay.
And the creation of an actual position is something we're talking about. That's something that's not internalized. I understand.
We had the job description. It was out there.
Because and there's a whole, I mean, so tight day that you will not know this piece file. Every meeting I was the last 4 years, which is how I knew the health and safety jargon wasn't correct, and it had every iteration. So there's my tight day, note taking, whatever type person that I am, and that's just how I look at this. So
You knew everything. You couldn't have known everything that was going on. All the discussions I've had with the superintendent, others.
but we came up and asked you, and we asked, why was there a need for communications, and why now a year later? So, okay, then answer that. Why, if there was such a need for there to be a person to communicate and to communicate with the public and get the message out, is there no need for it now? So there's,
Oh,
1 year.
that will be filled by the upcoming superintendent.
So there's going to be another assistant superintendent.
No, there's not.
So why couldn't the prior superintendent?
That could have had that name, that position could have had two hats. It could have been the curriculum director and director of communications. And you could have married the two names together. We called it the assistant superintendent because it had two hats. And those were the two hats we were filling, and he wore those two hats. That's how it came to pass. That was behind it. That was just assistant superintendent is just a title. It's the function that mattered. And it's the function that we wanted.
So, you're right. I'm just telling you how 2 weeks ago first came out of your mouth. When you said 2 years ago, I was discussing with Mrs. Basin, and something that school districts don't do correctly are succession plan. And that's when we decided that maybe we should create the assistant superintendent position. And that is literally, and I sat here and felt completely hurt and completely lied to. And I'm just giving you my honest to God feeling on having had that discussion and being told we needed a communication person. And so then when it's followed up with, well, now we can just hire that curriculum director, and that's what I'm going to tell the next board to do. So imagine you're sitting on my side And I've sat here and I've come in, I've had discussions with many of you on this and my feelings on it and why. And being told we needed this, to now all of a sudden sit in a meeting and hear that. So would you sitting on the other side, would you not feel as if you were lied to?
No,
And
no, because I would
Well,
understand,
that's how I felt.
because the function of what was being done was what mattered. Curriculum and communication. We've now got communications, because that's a hat he'll wear and he wears it perfectly. We won't go into there. Okay. But
Thank you.
we won't go into that.
It's been received and heard. Thank you. Yep. Received and heard.
Yeah.
We probably should end this debate on personnel.
Okay. All right,
That's from Richard as well, so.
all right. Well, others?
I do.
Yeah.
And Dan, just so you know, and to be transparent, I've talked to Dan about this. But I want to bring it up tonight, to be transparent to the public, and that is this new program for our agendas is not being well received by the public. And I've talked to Dan about it. And I've gone, when they've called me and said something about it, I've gone on and looked at what they can see. And it's like I said, it's not being well received. The public, at least the ones that have contacted me, felt it was easier the way it used to be. It was more user friendly the way it used to be. And I'm kind of curious, and I might have asked this before. If I did, I apologize, but I forget. Why did we switch?
Efficiency and ironically transparency, because moving forward, every agenda in here and minutes will be searchable by the public.
It was before.
They can, you'd have to.
And it was easier to find before too. It was actually easier to find the agenda on the website before than it is now.
They were PDFs and you'd have to narrow down when things were defined what you were looking.
So Dan, are you saying you could like enter a search word?
I could enter. Someone's name, assistant superintendent, you could enter that in the search bar and it will bring up every meeting, every agenda where that was on an agenda. So transparency wise, it's a better historical archive of what we've done. Over in terms of the format, I mean, we can post a PDF of what we're doing. We can post that for those that can't click on each agenda item and find the backup information. And as I said, we're going to put some more instructions on that. It's a training. Yes. It's a training issue.
Yes, my last correspondence to you, you said that about putting up instructions on how to use it, which is good. I think one of the things that I noticed that I'm sure a lot of people has noticed, usually if you click on something for more information, it's highlighted. I didn't know that if you clicked on under personnel, if I would have clicked on 4.1 approval of the following additions to the coaching staff, I didn't even know if you click on that on the website, it would then show you that there was 2 coaches that we're going to vote to approve. Because like I said, normally if there's added information, it's highlighted. And without having any instructions, you don't know to click on that. And the other thing is, and I brought this up to you, Dan, we talked about it a while ago, and you said the IU was working on it. There is nowhere that I can find on the website where the community can go in and see the dates of school board meetings. Before, like I talked to you, Dan, there was a calendar on the homepage which showed events. It showed events and it showed when board meetings were. And now that is totally gone. No, it's not on the district. It wasn't.
And it's not as easy to get to.
But I mean, it was so nice where people could go onto the homepage and see the calendar for the month. And actually they could, it had where you could click on it and go to the next month and the next month, you know.
Yep.
But it was so convenient and user friendly for it to be on that homepage. And it not only gave when the school board meetings were, it also gave whatever different colored box where there's a choral concert, or there's a concert, or there's a play happening, and it was convenient for the public to see.
There's actually even more on the calendar now. It's not on the front page and it's not as obvious as it used to be.
Well, I actually looked on the district calendar that we approved, and I did not see anywhere on there where it showed when the board meetings were.
At the very top of our webpage where you have all the tabs, the very right-hand tab is called district calendar.
Yeah.
And if you click on that, there's one big calendar that has every event in the school district.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
And we switched to
I've
that,
seen that, but
we switched to that actually by public request. I've had some people reach out to me and say that they would like to be able to subscribe to our calendars. So we moved to a Google Calendar which people can actually subscribe to, and they can automatically get updates with all of our new events.
More than we ever gave.
So it has not only district events, board meetings, but also has events for every building, and even our PTOs are also all closed.
why was it changed? What was wrong with the way it was on the homepage?
Because I had some people reach out that they didn't like that they could not subscribe to our old calendar. So this one, they can actually subscribe to it if they have a Google account, and it'll automatically add on to their personal calendar.
I've had people reach out and wants it changed back, so what are you gonna do? Are you gonna change it back?
I mean, that's the new one. The other thing is that
Yeah.
there's so much more on here than the old calendars. You can see when the colleges are visiting the high school. You've got club meetings on there. Austin's, the cap and gown thing was on here. Volleyball club, it's all there, and you can turn stuff on and off if you don't want to see all of that. And if you want just district calendar, just leave that one checked. Things start disappearing so you can drill down. And it's not for those simply looking for a school board meeting. It's not as convenient, but the district is so much more than school board meetings. So we can find a way to get board meetings on that front page.
We could list the board
Yep.
meetings on the school page,
So
school board page.
People want them on the very front. So there's that events.
Smash experiment. So
There's
there's
this
the
blank
homepage.
space here. We can do something with latest headlines. We can get something on the front page. But again, the calendars, who we hear from are parents that want more information on what's going on in the schools. And
And I did see
that's what's
this.
provided. And it's just by clicking district calendar that you can get to that.
Anything else, Ron?
It was so much easier going to the homepage and looking at that calendar and seeing events and.
I've had a lot of parents really happy with this too. This new way, so it's technology,
I'm sure.
technology.
Well, and that's the thing, not everybody is, and myself included, not everybody is, a technology genius.
Amen.
So if they know how to get to the home page, Dan, and they can see that calendar on the home page rather than having to search around for it. I just think that, you know, it's,
And when they turned that on, we ended up with what, 7 or 8 of those small calendars on. You could see all of them.
Well, the issue is that because we went to a new calendar doesn't have the May version like the old one. So it's one or the other.
And it forces other things down on the page. So
so what you're saying is we're never gonna get it on the home page.
we will look at it. We will get board meetings somewhere that's obvious.
Even if, you know, on the top where it has the,
Ticker that's cool.
yeah, if it was up there, it might help. Because it's
Like
got
next
this,
board meeting.
well, yeah, where it has the safety, safety plan and what all is up there now.
Okay,
Anywhere, right, to make it easier for people. And I'll go ahead and say it like me, that aren't computer literate.
All right, take a motion to adjourn then.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So, meeting is adjourned.
Mhm.